Trial Tuesday, once again, we are in the middle of hurricane season right now. So what do you need to do insurance-wise to be legally prepared for the worst? Attorney David Aylor, man whose collar is popped, even when it isn't, joins me right now with some useful information to any homeowner out there. So, Attorney David Aylor, welcome back to the program, sir. Of course, we are in the middle of hurricane season. We had Hugo back in 1989. A lot of property was destroyed. So what do you need to do to be prepared now to make sure that any kind of rebuilding, restructuring of your home is going to be prepared later after the storm?
Well, first of all, you need to check your policy. Believe it or not, a lot of people assume that they have the coverage and actually don't. Sometimes the policies are somewhat dated, meaning when they originally got it, they purposely chose not to get it, maybe for financial reasons. And it's worth looking into, one, to see if you have it, and two, to see if that's sufficient coverage.
Is that something, obviously you have the insurance agent, do you want to have your lawyer look at that documentation as well and kind of go through it and make sure that everything is there, every box is checked?
Well, I think it's important if you have a good relationship with your insurance agent, obviously that trust is already built and they're going to lead you in the right direction.
Sure.
However, if you're going out to either a company or an agent you're not familiar with, it would be good at least to have someone else take a look at it just to make sure that everything you want is actually in place within the contract.
And now, I believe they closed those insurance policies down a couple of weeks ahead of a hurricane. Is there any legal ramification that you can take at that point to make sure that you're covered?
Well, it's going to be difficult. You could obviously get certain types of insurance, but when you get to that level of, basically catastrophic insurance, it's going to be really expensive. So the sooner you look to do it, the better.
Indeed. How about after the storm? Again, when Hugo came, a lot of decimation throughout the low country, and then all those contractors came in from all parts of the country.
Right.
And a lot of people that weren't contracted to do work came in as well to try and do these jobs, pick up some extra dollars. So what do you want to know when being prepared after the storm and you're trying to rebuild your life and put your home back together?
Well, that's a good question you asked, simply because a lot of people are taking advantage of. First thing you have to know when trying to get any type of home repair done, whether it be from hurricane damage or anything else, is you want to make sure the contractor you use is a licensed contractor. It's easy to check that license within the city to make sure that they are a contractor there and licensed, because if they're not, there's obviously going to be a number of issues that could come up related to maybe future structural damage and things like that, as well as liability on any type of things that go wrong within the actual construction.
Indeed, these things happen without a hurricane, though. I mean, unscrupulous contractors come into town all the time and try and swindle you. So what legal ramifications can you take as a homeowner, as a property owner, if somebody does do you wrong?
Well, obviously this happens all the time, unfortunately, and a lot of times people sometimes will take care of the situation themselves within a small claims court setting. However, if the amount of money is over that barrier of $7,500, they're going to take that claim and go forward into a court of common pleas, and it'd be really important at that point to make sure you had an attorney. The other thing that you can do ahead of time prior to getting to that point is you really want to make sure that everything, all the work you're getting done, is actually put out on paper. So often you have these disagreements between the contractor and the homeowner simply based upon what they allegedly went over verbally but didn't put into writing, and then that sometimes can be tough to prove.
So can they give you an estimate, a step-by-step estimate, put it out on a piece of paper for you?
Right. If they're a licensed contractor, they should do that. They should give you an estimate on not only what the supplies are, but also the labor, and then try to guarantee at least a cap within that range. Now, clearly, if they find things structurally internal that causes it to be more expensive, that's a little bit of a different situation. But what you often see is these sort of just generic estimates given, and then once they get into it, they then sort of bring up more charges, more things that they allegedly need then that they didn't know about it originally.
Those cases, if they do go to small claims court or court of common pleas, do they usually side with the homeowner there? How do these cases usually break down?
Well, it just really depends on what you're able to show. Obviously, these contractors sometimes are in the right themselves, and the homeowner may just not understand the process. But it's really going to come down to the documentation and why they're trying to show that there was some sort of fraud, or maybe just the work wasn't competent.
Make sure you get it checked out either way. Attorney David Aylor, thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Much more Low Country Live coming up after this. Make sure you stay right there.